Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 869. Does Fox Sports actually know football? Hello, Big Chillians, and welcome back to the Big Chill Podcast. Frank joins us with Eddie. Eddie, how's it going?
Yeah, things are going pretty well. We are actually recording immediately post-paddle for me. I played a lunchtime paddle game.
Oh, boy.
Didn't enjoy it 1 minute. Played with...
Post-paddle.
Yeah, I have post-paddle depression. I played with a guy who...
You got PP'd?
I got PP'd. I would have rather been PPD'd. Just played with a guy who was absolutely... I played with him once before, and the last time we played together, I told him he was no fun to play with and that I didn't enjoy it. And he came back and played with me again. And rather than saying, hey, last time he said I take it too seriously and it's not fun and I complain a lot and just make the session not enjoyable at all, instead of saying, let me learn from that and try and be a bit better, he doubled and tripled down and made it even worse.
Played with him or against him?
Unfortunately, with him. So I tried, we showed up, and I was like, I tried to make it so that I could play against him. But a lot of people are very insistent on whether they play on the right or whether they play on the left. I normally play on the right because it's similar to pickleball, so that your forehand can be on the inside. You know, that's whatever.
You don't rotate for serve?
No, everyone stays.
Oh.
So
that's kind of stupid.
So I was I said I'll play on the left. I don't mind. I'm happy to play on the left, but people were trying to be
I'll play on the net. I'll play middle. I'll play anywhere. Just not with this asshole.
And trying to do it nicely. Just no, I don't mind. Let's mix it up. Last time I played with him. This time let's mix it up. Let's play with someone else. And they said, no, we'll play together. And he wanted to play with me because all he cares about is winning. And we won last time.
And all they care about is not playing with him because they also dislike him so much.
May also be the case. And so we played the first set, which we won. And during it, I mean, he just, on top of it too, he's not in great shape. I'm quite a bit better than him. He's not terrible, but he just kind of everything down the middle, leaning even into my sort of half of the court, he's sort of trying to get it. So I was telling him, like, it's okay. You can trust me. Just let it go. It's on my half of the court. And he would say, like, I'm used to playing this way, And so I said, okay, if you're not good enough to play a different way, then I'll just leave it to you. So then I just stood there.
That's what you said? If you're not good enough?
Yeah. Because again, these people have such high images of themselves. But if you're not good enough to adapt slightly what your tactic is, then you're clearly not that good of a player. So if I have to adapt to your limitations, then I'll do that for you. And so then I just left him. I was basically playing 25% of the court. And then he would kind of look at me sometimes because then he wouldn't be able to get to the ball. And I was like, I thought it was yours. So, and just did that. And he just got in a huff, more and more in a huff. At one point, I may have called him a fat fuck loud enough for him to hear, I have to say. Now, in English, which he obviously couldn't really understand. So I don't think he got it, although I'm sure he understood the intent behind the words that came out of my mouth. But didn't enjoy it at all. We played the first set, we won. We played the second set. I didn't want to win at that point because it was so much not fun, and the only thing he cares about is winning. So we lost the second set, and then after the second set, he said, deciding set, third set, and I said, we got to switch partners. So I insisted for the...
Nice.
I said, I'll play with either of you, just not him. And insisted.
Did you say that like to him, like with him
we
there?
all
I'm
four
not
of us,
playing with him. Did you point at him?
All four of us went to the net.
Yeah.
All four of us went to the net to sort of say, "Good, nice set." We play a third set, and I said, "We can play a third set. I got time, but with anybody but him."
Nice. And then did you beat him?
We didn't have time to even finish that set, unfortunately. But yeah, it was. And it's just, it annoys me because I do it, like I'm really only going to enjoy myself, move around a little bit. And normally for me, it's a big mood elevator. I finish playing and I'm in a nice mental space. It sort of sets your day up. You feel good. And then this was the complete reverse. I left and I was just like, that just ruined my day. It just completely ruined my day. Thank you for that.
No, it's like I think we discussed the incident I had a few weeks ago with the woman who like was so mad she wouldn't even like say good game or like shake my hand or say goodbye afterwards. And it's like, relax, it's a fucking game. Like and like, yes, I didn't play great, but you also didn't play like you're not that good that like you can warrant like shitting on me because I had a bad game. Like we're here in like an open, like fun, like league players. Relax, like enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I don't get it, but it is what it is. Hopefully this weekend I can find a game that doesn't completely ruin my day in the process.
I have my first men's doubles tournament tomorrow.
Nice.
Me and my partner Dave.
I recommend to try and just bring you and him really like put yourselves on the same page. Try calling him a fat fuck at some point during the game.
Unfortunately, he's pretty skinny. That would be maybe that would like help like break the ice a little.
Yeah.
But
nice serve, you fat fuck. But yeah.
That's actually probably our only advantage. I'm pretty excited. We both have like really strong serves. So we don't always get it in, which in pickleball, I think as you get higher up, people like take down the serve just to make sure that you're getting it into the right spot and never like wasting an opportunity. But we're just like, fuck it, we're going for it. And we just smash it every time. So if we can get on a roll, we might start like acing some people in pickleball.
Well, I look forward to the updates.
I'm sure we're going to go 0-5.
We'll see. Now, I know there's not too much on the sporting calendar to discuss today because obviously we recorded a few days ago. There hasn't been Manchester City played in the league since we last recorded and won their match against Crystal Palace, so at least kept things, they're sort of
even, I guess.
Yeah, they're just
and put up 3, right? So
they're slightly close. The goal difference, if it does come into play, if Arsenal draw, then City are putting themselves in a good position where City should win the league on goal difference if Arsenal draw. Because if you assume there's that match where obviously City will have to keep adding to their goal difference and then Arsenal stay still for a match. But realistically,
I was gonna say, speaking of the City, were you gonna discuss any more on that match or?
I don't think there's a huge amount to discuss, really. I mean,
because I was going to say I saw a stat about Phil Foden, who seems to be coming back into form right around World Cup time, which might be nice for England. He's looking more fit, a little better. But, everyone had been kind of shitting on Foden for having a really bad season. But I don't know if you saw the stats. In 22 starts, Foden has 12 goals or assists. Saka in 24 starts has 11 goals or assists. And Cole Palmer in 22 starts has 10 goals or assists. So,
yeah, and you could probably, if you removed Cole Palmer's penalties, he and Saka too. Foden won't have taken a penalty, I don't think, for City this season. I mean, he does it very occasionally, but assuming Haaland's there, that he's not getting to touch that. But so if you think about it that from that perspective, just open play, okay, Foden may have snuck some assists from corners, which are always a bit, I don't know. I've never sure how to consider a corner assist. Like Declan Rice just stack kind of, pads his stats with those. But yeah. No, it does seem at least because I mean
maybe,
up until
maybe the take home is they're all having bad seasons.
I think unfortunately it's true. It's hard to know when you look at the England team at this moment in time, especially if we just think from an attacking perspective. Harry Kane is in form, and I think that might be just about it. Ollie Watkins, I guess, is doing all right for Villa. He's scoring some goals, but then he won't play because unless something happens to Harry Kane or unless they're chasing a game at the very end.
See, now, this is always something I find interesting with international play. Not as much, I guess, in football because I haven't been around as much watching it, but like at least with like hockey is I think the example I'm thinking of is you have players who in regular season particularly aren't the best or super productive, but you put them on an international team and there's something about that whether it's that they've been around those guys a lot, growing up and kind of going through like the development ranks, that they know them really well, or that just something about playing for their country kind of fires them up or something, that they become so much better in an international tournament than they do, like in the regular season, whatever league that they're playing in. So, maybe there's a hope there. I mean, this England team kind of has been playing together for a while, and they kind of are pretty comfortable with each other. I think a decent amount of them. So maybe that gets them a slight boost, or maybe they just love playing with the patch on. Who knows?
The patch. Maybe. I mean, the examples of that, right, would be Jordan Pickford and Harry Maguire, whose international form has. I mean, maybe that's a little harsh on Pickford because it's not as if he plays poorly for Everton, and actually in recent seasons he's been really good. But definitely with Harry Maguire, there's been moments where he's not even been starting for Manchester United, but then he's never really put a foot wrong for England. So yeah, those are players who obviously at that level are comfortable and confident and feel like they know what they're doing. And I think if anything, it just shows certain players how much that confidence and trust plays a part. So if they feel like the coaching staff and the players around them trust them and believe in them, the impact that can have on their play. Whereas Harry Maguire has had periods definitely for Manchester United where he will have felt as if the fans don't want him playing, his teammates don't have confidence in him, and you feel like then every little mistake you make is sort of being examined under a microscope. And I don't think that makes players the best versions of themselves. So I think the sort of asterisk heading into this tournament, though, is whilst a lot of these England players have played together for a very long period of time and obviously had success in recent tournaments, you have a different manager now who has a slightly different style of play. So whilst it's useful, it's not as if you have Gareth Southgate saying, copy and paste what we did last World Cup, last Euros, the Euros before that. This is very much a different manager with slight alterations, slight preferences as to who he wants to play in key positions. And so it's not quite as stable of a situation as it maybe was in the last tournament or two.
Well, this is kind of a nice little transition I had into a talking point that I had pulled up. I had seen some English Instagram posts ripping into in the US, they have come out with a list, and this was Fox Sports had done this in anticipation for the World Cup because they will be, I think, the main like broadcast hosts for the World Cup for in the US will be Fox Sports. And the article was first things first. Right, first things first. Oh, okay. I think that's the name of the very weird. Okay. The top 26 players who will define the 2026 World Cup. Have you heard this list? It is getting highly scrutinized.
No, but I'm sure that an American player will feature on it, and that will instantly annoy me. So I'll preface it by saying that. The only thing I'll say is this, I suppose, in terms of defining a World Cup. You can say that the host nations, usually outperform, historically host nations do well. And there is a sense that you want a star to emerge. And when I say star, I mean a star of the tournament, like not a future star of international football.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if you put a Canadian, a Mexican, and an American player on this list saying that these players have a chance to be a little bit of the face of the World Cup. That's okay. But it's not okay to say,
define the World Cup. Define it.
Yeah, that's okay. Like James Rodriguez kind of defined the 2014 World Cup, but he's not gone on to fulfill the potential that he showed in that tournament.
Now, let me ask you, if I had to ask you, who do you think could end up being the face of the 2026 World Cup, could define it? Well, who's your number one?
Can I give like a top 5? I don't know if I want to do a
You can give me a top
one.
3.
Okay.
I'll allow that.
Ousmane Dembele.
Okay.
Harry Kane.
Okay.
I'll throw in Messi. It's his last hurrah, and Argentina are okay, and they're defending champions. And they're going to make a big deal. He plays in the U.S. They're going to make a huge deal out of everything. So I'll put those 3. And if I can explain just to quickly, because listeners will get annoyed. I think Dembele because France are good, and I think I still remain in the camp, even though he won the Ballon d'Or and the Champions League and been super successful at PSG. I still put myself slightly in the camp of I'm not sure if he's really top class. And this is his opportunity to go to a World Cup when he is in seemingly his prime and really put himself as a sort of player of a generational defining player. And whereas if he goes and France have a flat World Cup and Dembele doesn't do much, I think people like me who will say you were a Barcelona flop who's gone to Liga and done pretty well at a team that is focused entirely on the Champions League, I'll feel more right.
And also, I think maybe you could even make the argument coming off a potentially monumental Champions League.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like there could be a lot of juice coming into it that would like have the hype high, kind of, like so. Because
Well,
obviously, defining the World Cup means you have to kind of have that talking going into it. So I think he's going to be on a lot of people's talking points, main points coming
assuming,
in.
let's say it goes to form or to like the bookmakers are right. So PSG win this Champions League. So they're back-to-back Champions League winners, which is that's a short list. And he
And
will
he's
have been
done
one
well.
of he'll be one of the stars. He may even,
Yes.
could have a good final, he'll also then put himself in contention to a back-to-back Ballon d'Or winner, which starts to, again, he'll historically sit in this weird thing where in the future we might start to think that Ousmane Dembele is a lot better than he was because it could be back-to-back that Ballon d'Or winner, back-to-back Champions League winner. And let's say we throw in World Cup winner at the same time. You'd be like, was Dembele one of the best players of the 2020s? And I'll say no, but it would be kind of hard to argue it. So yeah, I'll put him in there. And then quickly,
Okay.
I'll say Messi, obviously, almost certainly his last World Cup. Argentina are reigning World Cup champions. He's the kind of face of football for the most part still. So is this the handover period or can he have one last hurrah? And then Harry Kane, also probably his last World Cup and his last chance to win a World Cup with England to put himself into a different stratosphere in terms of legacy. And equally, he's in with a chance of winning a Ballon d'Or if England have a good World Cup.
Yeah. So let's see if Fox Sports agrees with you, Eddie. Number 1 on their list, Messi.
Fine.
6 World Cup, most ever. He already has the most World Cup games and minutes. Only person to score goals in every World Cup is a teenager in his 20s and his 30s. So he's number 1. I have no problem with him being on the list. I don't know if he's number 1, but he was in your top 3. Number 2, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the Messi argument, and he's also will be playing in his 6th World Cup, so they're both going to be there. The difference between the two of them is that Ronaldo is definitely, I mean, Messi is past his best too. Yeah, Ronaldo, this is his last chance. This is not a great Portugal side, and if they're going to be good, then Ronaldo probably needs to play a bit part role, and so it's different there. I mean, the only way he'll be the defining, if somehow Portugal go on a run and are in the semifinals, even a quarterfinal appearance for Portugal. I mean, that's just standard for them. So I would be very surprised if we're really talking about Ronaldo that much.
In a defining sense, you might be talking about him.
I just mean at all.
Like, oh, because he's no, but I mean, like you might be talking about him as in like, oh, Ronaldo not starting again for Portugal or not doing anything again for Portugal. Like that's how you're going to talk about him. So he might get a lot of talking points, but it might not be in like defining the like.
But again, he shouldn't.
World Cup.
Will Fox probably, yes, because he's one of the few players that some of their people really know well because they have non-football people on as part of their broadcast for some bizarre reason. So you're going to have people who they're going to talk about Ronaldo because they at least recognize him. But the reality is he's a 40-year-old who should be a substitute for a team that has very little chance of winning the World Cup. That shouldn't be a major talking point.
Yeah. So here's the one that I would have put someone in is always the like very young player who has a chance to be great, and will get highlighted because he's super young and this could be the next star. And that this one obviously will be Yamal, who's now 18 and has the potential has another. I mean, he actually played pretty good in the last one. Like whenever he was out there, he kind of had that
in the Euros.
Yeah, he was being like talked on. So,
Well, the issue with Lamine Yamal though he's injured, and how fit will he be going into the
Yeah.
World Cup? I mean, yes, Spain are going to be good, and with his injury, and he's not playing for Barcelona again this season. He should at least in the knockout stages be able to feature. But that's why I wouldn't put him in my top 5 either. You're right. He could be in the similar to the Dembele
Yeah.
thing, you kind of really put yourself on the world stage. But it's a lot of confidence in a player coming off a reasonably serious injury towards the end of the season.
Number 4. Now we're getting into, France have a good chance of winning. And obviously, like you said, Dembele could play a part in that. But they've gone with Mbappe for number 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's the face of the team, so I just don't know if I guess there's so much bad press surrounding Mbappe at the moment, and, Real Madrid are struggling so much.
Is he
It's
also
so
fit? Like, has he been injured a lot
He
lately?
has
I
been
know I know he's
injured.
back now, but he had been injured
Yeah,
for
he
a
has been
while.
injured. He's obviously even his relationship with France has been a little bit iffy because he has, not played in sort of friendlies, and he only is there when he really wants to be there. So, but yeah, you have a chance for Mbappe to become a 2-time World Cup winner. So, yeah, that changes the perception of him pretty dramatically. So I'm fine with that.
Okay, number 5. You discussed Harry Kane. He said he's in your top 3, maybe the best no, I don't want to say pure goal scorer, but like when you think of goal scorers in the past few years, he's lighting it up. That's not who they've gone with. They've gone with Holland.
I'm fine with that because it's his first World Cup, and he, again, it's a Norwegian team. They're not contenders. They have a couple of good players, but there's a chance for him to, you know, he's fun to watch, and he's an engaging personality. So, yeah, I'm fine in terms of defining. He's much more likely to sort of have a personality that sort of influences some of the narrative a bit more. I will say, just while we're on this topic, I was thinking, I think it was at the weekend when City were playing, and I was putting together my bet builder that included Holland to score, who I think he was 10 to 11 to score, and I was thinking back,
Wow, great value.
well, it's not though, but I was think back to the old days when he was scoring 60 a season, and he was like 1 to 3 anytime goal scorer in matches. Like
Yeah,
it
that's what
was,
I mean. 10 to 11. It's good
but
value.
it's not good value because he's not scoring as many. Yes, 3 seasons ago that would have been amazing value, but at the moment it's a fair price, if not slightly too short.
Okay, number 6, Christian Pulisic.
I mean, again, based on what I said, I'm fine with there being a Canadian, a Mexican, and an American player high on this list. If there is not a Mexican and a Canadian player within both featuring within the top 15, then this is dumb. But okay, based on the fact that he is the face of the American team heading into their tournament as a host nation. And yes, if you look historically, there are lots of players who, as the star of the home nation, do kind of define a World Cup. I'm okay with it. He's a little too high, but I'm
Higher than
okay with
Harry
it.
Kane and Dembele.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little too high, but it doesn't upset me too much.
Number 7, Brazilian. Want to guess?
Brazilian, Vinicius Jr.?
Yep, number 7.
Oh, I guess. I mean, I guess. I don't know. This is basically a list. They asked like an intern. Tell me the 25 players you can name.
Wow, you think this is a real list. You don't think this is AI.
No, I don't think it's good enough to be AI. I literally think this is like, hey, we need to do more World Cup content. It's like, doesn't Steve play FIFA a lot? And Steve's like, yeah, I play FIFA. And it's like,
23, FIFA 23.
yeah, yeah. Quickly, Steve, drop a list of the 25 players who are likely to be talked about the most at the World Cup.
Number 8, Harry Kane. Finally made the list.
Yeah, fine. I'm not, and again, 8 is okay. I'm not.
Dembele, number 9. Number 10, oldest player on the list. Take a guess.
Oldest player on the list. Oh, it's the Mexican goalkeeper. No?
No, on the list. He not not like playing in the World Cup, but he's the oldest player
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
no,
list.
but he's got to be older
Oh,
than
okay.
40 because he's got to be older. Ronaldo.
This person is 40 years old.
I can't think of
He
who it is.
has haunted England in the past.
I can't think of who it is.
Luka Modric.
Oh, that's stupid. I honestly, that's stupid. This is just name players you know. This is outrageous as a list. This is like asking me going into the NHL playoffs, like players who will define the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I was like, I would be saying Sidney Crosby, Ovechkin.
Okay, number 11. Van Dijk.
I mean, he's playing badly. The Netherlands are not amazing. I don't even think he's the face of the Dutch team at the moment. He should not be on this list. There are better players. If you're going to choose a Dutch player, I think there are better options than Van Dijk.
Number 12. Son.
No. I mean,
No. No. Just no.
South Korea have no real chance of featuring in the latter stages of the tournament. He's past his best. Again, the only argument you can make is that he plays in the MLS. And so I'm sure he'll be heavily marketed, but the chances that he really is a defining player within the World Cup itself, I don't know. Because also, too, you have to kind of say with him, like there's some arguments you can pick players who have big personalities, and so they're more likely. Like Vinicius Jr. makes sense. He starts conversations every match with something that he does. And so he can have he could play badly, but still be a defining player in the World Cup. Son is he has very little personality. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, no chance. No chance.
13. First Germany player.
Musiala is maybe my
Yep.
guess as to who they'd pick.
That's
I'm
it.
not sure.
It's
Again,
Musiala.
I'm not sure on that one, but yeah.
14.
I just want to say,
go ahead.
too, the reason why Son's a really stupid pick, when South Korea knocked Germany out of the group stages of the World Cup, which is, a historical anomaly in terms of Germany never having been knocked out in the group stages. And he scored the goal that sort of sealed the fate when Neuer went walkabouts and he managed, he was kind of walked the ball into the net. Even with all that going in his favor, he still wasn't a defining player of that World Cup. So if you think about it in that sense of, could South Korea do something as significant as what they did in that tournament? I would lean heavily towards no, and yet he's featuring relatively high on the list.
Okay. This is where it gets good. Jude Bellingham, number 14.
I don't even know if he's playing, so I mean, again, it's just a recognizable name, but Tuchel's not a huge fan of his, and it's not certain. He's coming back from injuries. He's not played much for Real Madrid, and even if he were playing and in form, I'm not sure if he makes England's starting lineup because of the fact that he's not favored in the way that Tuchel wants England to play. He probably forces his way in just because of how big a name as he is and how controversial it would be to leave him out. But no, he shouldn't be at this stage of the tour. Even though he had the great Euros and the bicycle kick and dragging England towards but still, no.
I'm so excited for what's coming soon. Number 15, Sadio Mane.
Okay. Just no.
Oh, we're good?
No.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
You ready for the number 16th player that will define the 2026 World Cup? Chris Richards.
I don't even know who that is. I mean, I do know, but it's no, that's so stupid. No.
He's the anchor of the United States defense, Eddie. He talks a little bit of trash. He grew up in Alabama and ended an interview once with Roll Tide. He was the 2025 U.S. Men's Player of the Year.
Great. That's all wonderful. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's not going to be a defining player of the 2026 World Cup.
17 is Lautaro Martinez.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, fine.
18 is Doué on France.
Yeah, okay.
World Cup
Also,
debut.
yeah, that's fine. Young player. Yeah, that's
No,
okay.
19 Pedre.
Pedri for Spain.
Pedri, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too.
20 Hakimi.
It's a lot of French players. That's 4 in the top 20. Right? Because
Well,
it's
he's Morocco,
Mbappe.
isn't he?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. Sorry. It's just going to upset some. Yes, he's
Yeah.
Moroccan.
Um, oh boy.
Definitely Moroccan. Um, yeah,
You
no
yelled at me
chance.
really hard for doing that one time.
Yeah. Nah, no chance. No chance.
21 Bruno Fernandes.
He should be the highest Portuguese player on the list, realistically. So that's
Yeah.
fine.
But deserves to be
Top 25, yeah. I mean, really, you're scraping the barrel. I mean, what does the 24th most likely player to be a I mean, because realistically, to be the defining player, you need to check one of two boxes. You either have to be a star player on one of the 3 or 4 contenders, so that narrows it down to a pretty small short list, or you have to be that James Rodriguez breakout player, where in the future, when we think of that World Cup, you're the player who immediately comes to mind just because you do something so extraordinary. That doesn't even happen every World Cup. So in order to do that, you have to be an immensely talented attacking player on a at least a pretty decent team.
number 22 Balogun.
Oh my God. So 3 US players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, at the Copa America, Eddie, he had 2 goals in 3 games. Okay.
And people haven't stopped talking about it. I mean, I don't think if even his mother would say he was a defining player of that Copa America tournament. So what chances does he have in this World Cup?
23 Rafinha.
Okay.
24 Mo Salah.
No, again, it's just too many old players. Like, I don't understand old players on teams that aren't likely to be featuring heavily in the latter stages of the tournament. So they'll be spoken about a bit because it's their last tournament. So yes, there'll be conversations, but it won't be the defining element of the I hope not. I'll put it this way. If we're talking about Mo Salah a lot post World Cup, this will have been a terrible World Cup.
Last 2. 25 Saka.
Okay.
You can make a case if he scores a lot, right? And England do well, because like he's a potential decent goal scorer or playmaker for England, right? Like if he plays well, that's a big if.
I'd have
but
Saka above Bellingham.
would you have him above Chris Richards though?
Yeah,
It's tough.
it's tough. And I don't know about above Balogun. Those are 2. I mean, when you find yourself on a list for those 2, you know you're in the right place. But I'd probably have Saka above because I'm more confident that Saka will be starting for England than Bellingham will be. Bellingham, I do get he has more personality surrounding him and he wants to be the star. And so the chances that he seeks out opportunities to be the defining person, he likes doing the performative on pitch stuff. He'll definitely take a penalty if it's there to be taken and he's allowed to. He'll do all of that stuff. So Saka should probably be higher and I think he should be above Bellingham, but I'm not annoyed with either.
And 26.
That's another American, isn't it?
Weston McKennie.
Oh my God. And as I
Listen,
said,
wait. This is their write-up. Listen, he's 27 years old. He plays for Juventus. He can play literally any position but keeper. He's in the midst of his best club league season, including scoring 4 goals in the Champions League. He might be the X factor for the United States.
yeah, I guess he might be. Yeah, No.
I gotta
I mean,
say,
he
Balogun is ripping it up in Monaco right now.
yeah,
He's
great.
got he's got one, two, three, four goals in his last 6.
Wow.
How about that, huh?
Yeah, and again, I live in France, and no one's talking about him. So
Yeah.
just put that into perspective. But look, again, there should have been. You had to put in a Mexican on this list, and you had to put a Canadian on the list, and that way you maintain the integrity of the idea that a host nation, one of those 3 host nations, will get further in this competition than I will think going into it, because that's just what happens in World Cups. The advantage of the home support that comes from it, and the kind of home comforts that you also get, we see it pretty much every tournament. Home nations outperforming, or at least even when they're good teams, doing extremely well. So you have to stick a Mexican player and a Canadian player on that list, just in case, just to cover your bases of, like, if Canada find themselves in the quarterfinal, who is going to be the player they're going to be speaking about? And if Mexico find themselves in the quarterfinal, who's the player that we're almost certainly
Yeah.
going to be speaking about? But they
And
haven't
out
even
of
been.
those 3 countries, I think Mexico's got the best shot probably to make it to the quarterfinals, because they always are kind of sneaky in the World Cup. They have like those. They kind of find a way. They always make it through the group stage almost.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a terrible list.
Fuck sports. That's how they do their thing.
Now, sticking on the subject of football, I guess one final topic. I don't know how much you've seen of this, but obviously the championship playoffs have been engulfed in a scandal. A Spygate has come to England. And as is always the case, we English people do things with less drama and pizzazz than Americans. So the British version of Spygate is nowhere near as exciting as the New England Patriots version of Spy, or at least as complex as what the Patriots
Okay.
are doing. So for listeners who maybe are too young or don't follow the NFL, the Patriots got in trouble for filming their other teams' plays and practices. You're allowed to film from specific locations, but they were filming
During
from
games,
not
I think.
during games. Like, they were filming from
But
non-authorized locations to get it kind of
but then also
understand
potentially filming practices, which is illegal.
also,
You
which
can't
we
at
don't.
all film like another team's practice.
Yes, which we don't know, because then the tapes were destroyed before anyone was able to see them. So, like, there's this myth surrounding just how extensive was Spygate, and were the Patriots punished appropriately or not. Now, Southampton saw that, and they thought, you know what we need to do? We need to try going into our playoff semifinal against Middlesbrough. We need to try and get as many advantages as we can. And to do that, wouldn't it be useful if we got some insights into what they're doing in their practices, in their training sessions? Now, this is completely illegal. These are not, there's no opportunity for teams to go and sit in on opposing teams' training
Oh,
sessions.
can I take a guess? Did they try and honeypot them?
No,
Did they recruit undercover female Southampton fans to
no, that would have been a lot smarter. Instead, what they did is they sent one of their sort of, I think he's a youth team coach. They just sent him to the training session to stand there and just stand behind a tree filming it.
So for our listeners, Eddie has just posted a picture of what looks like a 17-year-old teenager who might be defined as having some teenage angst to him with
Yeah, he's
this
a little
like little
emo looking.
haircut. Yeah, a little emo looking.
He's got some baggy
and
jeans.
standing. Wait, I've got 2 major comments so far.
Yeah,
He's like not really standing well behind the tree, but his
no.
major flaw is he has the phone long ways to film like the wide version, but he's got the lens on the wrong side of where he's filming. So he's got to expose more of his body so he can get the lens. Like, he's not putting the lens on the right side so he can hide himself and just poke like the lens side of the camera out. He is
Yeah.
clearly not a professional at this, which maybe is a good thing. Maybe he's not doing this to like women or other people,
Whoa,
illegally.
that isn't where I thought you were going. They're not doing this on a consistent basis, but now you're saying
No,
no. He's not a
no.
peeping tom. Okay,
Yeah, I mean, he's got a look in his eyes, but Yeah. The other thing I'll say is he didn't even bother to get like that like fake like the fake glasses with the mustache and the different nose that you can put on to like hide yourself. He's not hiding himself at all.
Well, here's the issue is so he's semi behind this tree. He is behind the tree enough to see he's not hiding himself at all. The tree is not you would not
No.
notice him. If anything, being semi behind the tree is drawing more attention to him because you would
Yeah.
look over there and you'd go, "Why is this guy trying to hide behind the one tree that is there? He's clearly trying to hide."
How
Whereas
did
if
he
he was
get there is a good question. Do you think he like snuck in late at night and like slept behind the tree?
well, here's the thing is, and I don't know the details of this, but there is a chance because with a lot of training grounds, they're not as sort of walled off and secretive as, so you can be a local and you can either have a house that overlooks parts of the training ground
Yeah.
or, they're just places you can walk nearby. So it wouldn't be necessarily unusual to see someone just walking by the training ground and maybe find a place where they could kind of see what's going on and probably even taking a picture or a video because you would just say like, "Oh, cool. Look, let me send this to my friends." But when you
Yeah.
then try and hide, you're going to draw more attention to yourselves. So
Do you
obviously
think he
Southampton
army crawled his way to that tree?
I'm surprised. He could have been in like a ghillie suit or something, a full
I
camo.
wish we had the whole video, like, because just the way he's positioned himself in that tree, the lead up for him to get to that tree must have been quite funny. Like, the way he tried to, like, be nonchalant about it, just I wish
Like
I could watch
pointing at a
the yeah.
bird
Yeah, like, slowly, like, I would love to have seen the lead up video of him trying to get behind the tree to start. That would have been pretty
loudly
funny.
yelling out like, "Oh, can anyone believe it? There's a raven there. You don't see ravens and everybody look. It's unusual at this time of year." But he, yeah, so he's been caught. Southampton won that semifinal, so they are due to play in the championship playoff final on the 23rd. So that's next Monday. And the question is, what will the punishment be? The problem for them is there's a long enough gap between the semifinals and the final for actually them to be punished. There's
Ooh,
talk they may be kicked out of the playoffs. So then the conversation becomes, are they kicked out and are Middlesbrough then put into the playoff final? Or is this a scenario where instead they're kicked
that would
out
suck.
and you then have
Oh, an automatic, like, walkover.
Hull Hull just get automatically promoted. There's
Yeah.
also talk that they may be financially punished so that they're allowed to play in the championship playoff final, but that if they are promoted, they will basically not receive any of the Premier League money that they would get from going up.
That's even worse.
And that
I
possibly
think that's worse.
I think that's better.
Yeah, no?
I think that's
Well,
better
I
because
guess I
you could still tell yourself like maybe we stay up.
yeah,
And if you're a player on the team, obviously you still get to go and play Premier League football. So,
yeah.
and there's some talk that they may have to pay a huge fine to Middlesbrough. So if they're promoted, that they may have to pay, a 50, 60, 70 million pound fine to Middlesbrough to offset. There's the possibility, obviously, here that Middlesbrough may bring legal action against them too. So there may be a civil case as part of this. It's a real mess, and it'll be interesting to see what is done. I think the only simple way to deal with this is that they get kicked out and that Middlesbrough are play in the championship final. Which the interesting thing is there's a chance that their players are like have left on holiday. That they got knocked out and
That's true.
went, "I'm going to Dubai. Like I need to
Oh
decompress.
boy.
Yeah." So
Calling up
we'll,
Jack Grealish.
yeah, we'll see
Hey,
if
any good recommendations?
yeah. So we'll see what goes on there, but I think the smart thing for the EFL to do is to remove them.
That's crazy.
Any other big sporting stories to discuss? Oh, I guess we have to
Yeah.
say
Oh,
the
I got
I got one.
yeah.
Is it NHL related or
No, I was gonna do NFL. I mean, the schedule was released and we discussed, you know, the different how every team now has their own like NFL schedule released. Did you watch any? I watched all 32.
did you really?
I briefly watched like the top 15.
That's dedication. I'll give you that. Sometimes people listen to the
Hey,
podcast
gotta
and they
do it for
say
the podcast, man.
we do no real preparation. That's proof that at least one of us did for this one.
Yeah.
I
Did
did.
you watch any of them? Did you see
I
any?
think I saw one of them.
Okay. I'll give you some
And
highlights. So there's like a few lists out there. Again, obviously, people love lists just like me of like who did the best, who did the worst. Some of the talking point ones, the Indianapolis Colts did a Simpsons version one, which was kind of just cool to see. The only funny thing about that was I don't know if you remember last year, they caught a lot of heat because they had like a Tyreek Hill joke in their thing. So this year, which I thought was pretty clever in the beginning, if anyone who knows The Simpsons, I think most people would. In the theme song, the intro of The Simpsons, it has Bart writing on the chalkboard, "I will not blah blah blah." So theirs was, I will not discuss Tyreek Hill. I will not discuss Tyreek Hill." I thought that was pretty good.
that's decent.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Chargers, people loved this one. I guess I get it because
This is the only one I
these
saw.
these adults are in this age range, but it was Halo themed. They put a lot of effort into this. So I don't mean it was like they had a guy dressed up in a Halo suit and then like he announced the schedule. They literally like designed Halo levels for each team they were playing, like pretty detailed levels, 15 to 30 seconds for each one. It was like a 10-minute video. I watched just the clips of the few. The one that people are noting is they play the Patriots. And they like for that one, the sequence was they had to drive down Cupcake Alley because they had a cupcake schedule last year. And then at one point they passed a sign that said, what did it say? It said like new, what the hell was it? Let's see if I can find it. I can't remember, but it was something like new photo drops coming in an hour. And then the next thing was you have a message from the New York Post popped up on the side of the screen, obviously referencing Vrabel. They're the only team that took a shot at Vrabel, so good for them. I'll give them credit for that. Did you see the Jaguars one with Trevor Lawrence supposedly cutting his hair? I sent you the picture.
Yeah, but I didn't see the video.
So that was, I think, I didn't watch the video, but I saw that people were speculating whether that's real or not. The Atlanta Falcons had a good one, but it was too long. Like I just stopped watching after 2 minutes. It was This Is Sports Center, like, but instead it was called This Is Falcons Football, and it was a bunch of like 20 to 30-second like classic Sports Center ads, but with their people. The good one is the first one where it's Matt Ryan because he's now part of I think he's like the president or something. Like he's pretty high up, president of operations or something for the Falcons. And he's got a group in the conference room and there's two guys in the corner that aren't sitting around the conference room. And he's like talking. He's like, "Get fucking set." He like screams at it like as if he was like playing football still and they like run into their seats. I thought that was pretty funny. And then the other ones I wanted to mention was the Tennessee Titans. We've talked about this before. They are the ones that had done the original most viral one where they went around asking people, like giving the logos and saying, "Oh, who are the Titans playing this week?" And they were giving the random logo names. They did a spin on it, which I think is quite creepy. They instead thought of people that define that team. So, for instance, they're playing the Giants. They had Cam Scatterbo. They went down the street randomly and went to someone who looked like Cam Scatterbo and went, "Hey, Cam Scatterbo." And then like they did the sound of like the guy like with his face, and then they put next to it Cam Scatterbo's face, and we're like, "Week 4, New York Giants," and they did this for everyone. But it got kind of creepy because it's them just like walking up to random people, pretending that they're like a famous person, and some of them are bad. They did like a Jerry Jones one where it's just a really old guy. That's all the only. I swear to God, it's the only thing that looks. They had like one or two that legitimately kind of looked like it. The best one they had is Fernando Mendoza. It's just a super fucking geeky looking kid, like a 14-year-old geek. And they're like, Fernando Mendoza. And he was like, what? No, my name's Bob. I'm just going to visit my grandma. Like he kind of like played into it without knowing he was playing into it. That was the only good one. The rest were like, it was weird. It was a little too much. And I guess the only thing I'll say too is the Vegas, the Raiders had one that I thought probably was the best one. It was a spoof on Step Brothers with Mendoza and Kirk
I
Cousins.
saw this one. Yeah, I
The
didn't
only
realize.
problem is that they could be the two worst actors I have ever seen in front of a camera.
Well,
It
it's
was,
interesting. But they were kind of themselves, which
but
is
they
kind of the
weren't, I don't
point, though,
think.
right?
I
But
guess, but they were like reading from a script, but it was yeah, it was funny. Like it was funny to see how bad they were. But it was a spoof off of Step Brothers, so people who are Step Brothers fans will definitely appreciate it. That I thought was probably the best one because I
Craig
do
Craig
think it was
Horlbeck
quite
probably
funny.
loved it.
Oh, I love it. I know my dad would love it. That's his favorite movie.
Anyway, that's probably
So
enough talk about the
no,
schedule release.
the only real
Anyways.
talking point about the schedule I wanted to bring up is did you see the Thanksgiving and Christmas games?
Yeah, the Thanksgiving games are
Finally.
good.
Awesome. So the Thanksgiving games this year will be Packers at the Rams. That's Thanksgiving Eve. So that's on the Wednesday. And then Thanksgiving Day is Bears Lions. Good matchup. Eagles Cowboys. You have to have the Cowboys in, and I think playing the Eagles, that's a pretty good matchup. And then Chiefs Bills. Great matchup. Always a good game.
Is it?
It's always a good game. Yeah, it is. Fuck
Is
off. It always is
is
a good game. Come
is
on.
Mahomes without Mahomes?
He's playing.
Is
He's
he?
back. They said he's going to be back early. He's ahead of schedule. They said
Okay,
the
let's
Coors
see.
Lights are the best therapy.
Yeah. Because there's a real chance here that is, and again,
Yeah, of
still,
course.
still
course.
those are you can't predict. You know, you got to set the schedule. I think on paper those are three. At least they're games you feel like you would watch. You're not just watching because they're prime time. Those are games that you would tune in for. But there's a very realistic chance that that's a sort of 2-win Chiefs team against a good Bills team. And
yeah, I'll give you that if Mahomes is back for sure. And then the Black Friday game is Broncos Steelers. And did you see the Christmas games? Yeah,
I
but it's
saw
Black Friday. The Christmas one's equally as good.
Yeah.
Packers Bears, Bills Broncos, Rams Seahawks. That's a hell of a Christmas.
Yeah, the Christmas games to me are the least interesting because whilst I do watch them, I don't know. I still don't feel like NFL games should be happening on Christmas Day. So to me, I have to admit that Christmas Day is whilst I don't do this in terms of it's not part of my routine, but it's an NBA day because growing up, NBA games were on Christmas. I mean, they still are. And so in my mind, when I think but you know what I mean? Like as a kid, there were NBA games on Christmas Day, and that's sort of what you think about as the sport that happens on that day. And I think the NFL should have just left that to the NBA and just decided Thanksgiving's our thing, Christmas Day is your thing. Let's stay off each other's turf. But the NFL can't help itself, and it needs to be everywhere all the time. And
everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah, I guess so. The only other thing I noticed from the schedule release, because I was expecting to be able to see the Browns play in Paris, but they got passed up. So even though there was tons of release, it would seem to have appeared to have been fully confirmed the Browns and the Saints were going to be playing in Paris. Turns out it's the Steelers and the Saints. So I will not be going to that game.
Oh no, you don't want to see Aaron Rodgers?
No,
now
I'm okay.
Aaron Rodgers in Paris. He loves Paris.
Yeah, maybe I can find Aaron Rodgers. I'll hide behind some trees with my phone and see if I can find Aaron Rodgers somewhere.
So that's all I've got for the NFL release schedule. If you had to watch a few, just go watch the Falcons and watch the Raiders, and you'll be good.
I would say do something better with your day, but that's me. I just wanted to throw the Duke a curse. You were claiming success because the Minnesota Wild had made it past their first round, and the impact that you'd had. It's been 18 years or whatever you said it was since they'd last
11,
pulled that off.
I think
11, but turns out knocked out in the next
Yeah.
round, and now is an underwhelming season for the Wild.
No, I don't think it's an underwhelming season. I think you can take some positives from it. Like they built off of that. I mean, the Avalanche are a powerhouse. I think they're going to win the cup. So I didn't think they would beat Colorado like as soon as that round started. I mean, I think that's just a tough matchup. I think Colorado and the Hurricanes are the two best teams by far in this. So, but it was disappointing to see them lose in the way they did. Kind of got the win to make it 2-1 or 3-1, and kind of maybe they could crawl their way back, and we're up 3-0, and then ended up losing a game up 3-0 to lose the series is a terrible way to lose. Giving up 2 goals in the last 3 minutes is really, really bad. So that was a little bit of a Duke curse because I was texting my hockey group during that game, so maybe I did influence that a little bit. But yeah, not a good way to go out. But I think overall a decent season. So I'm not taking the Duke curse on that one yet. If next year they don't make the playoffs, then that's a bad move there.
All right. I'll give
But
you
hey,
I'll
I've
give you
also
this.
got the Timberwolves though, right?
Yeah, but they were already quite good, so I don't know
I mean,
if they get
they are losing 3-2 in the
if they
series.
get knocked
So
out in this round, then I think that's just it's a non-curse year because it's not a catastrophic collapse, but they also didn't do anything to prove the curse wrong because they ultimately this would have been minimum expectations for their season. So does meh count as curse broken? Like, is this what you're now claiming? You're doing laps of honor for like, well, like the most pessimistic fans thought that this was the furthest we could get.
I'll take it.
Any other sporting topics to discuss?
No, that's about it for me. Like I said, not much going on sports wise. So
I'll just fire a slight shot at Rory McIlroy, who I'm a big fan of,
oh,
but he
it's his
was interviewed
birthday.
after. Is it?
So
Well, he was in.
yeah, that's mean. Come on, that's mean. It's his birthday.
Well, he was interviewed after his first round of the PGA Championship, and was asked what his thoughts were on that round, and he said shit. Which I get that some people like
He
that
said
as a sort
shit or
of.
shite.
He said shit. And I guess
Good.
some people like that as like athletes being real. Can we bring a little bit of decorum back to how athletes and coaches speak? Like, I, I'm just saying, like, I don't have children, so I don't have to worry about my child being influenced by Rory McIlroy. And I don't think him saying shit is the worst thing in the world. But like, we got to draw a line somewhere. And I do think when you're giving your press conference after your round in golf, you can just say really terrible. Would that have landed in just the same way? I think 100%. It's the comedian move and I don't think shit is a swear word, but I'm just going to put it into that category for these purposes. But
Okay.
it's the comedian move of using a swear word to get the laugh but the joke itself actually isn't funny. But that that if you say fuck at the right time or you throw in some other word,
Oh,
people will respond to it a bit better.
the Larry David quote from Curb: "Throwing a fuck, double your laughs." That's what he says.
There you go. Well, Rory was obviously listening to that instead of hitting the driving range. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And the only other thing I did see, this is becoming a craze. So Surrey in county cricket, they started a thing this season where you can go and work remotely. They've set it up in the stadium at the Oval. So they've got high-speed internet and they even have desk setups. So the
No
idea
way.
Yeah. So the idea
Oh, I love this. This is awesome.
for these county games that obviously get played midweek, the attendances are not huge because most people are at work. So they've tried to configure this setup of coming to this remote. And they said there's a couple things that they're doing to facilitate it. They have spaces for calls, they have spaces for your laptop to be. They're guaranteeing high speed internet. On top of it, too, I think in case you invoice something, it doesn't show up as like the Oval or Surrey County Cricket, so
I,
that you
I love the idea of being like, No, I'm gonna be super productive. I'm gonna be at a cricket match for 6 hours, but they've got high-speed internet. And then, like, 2 hours later, you see the video of the guy with, like, the cup change, just, like, 15 cups of beer, like, trying to, like, stack it up. It's like, oh, yeah, he's being super fucking productive.
But yeah, I can see the appeal. If that were near me, if I lived near to the
That's
Oval,
cool. I would
I could
do
see the
that.
idea of doing this. And it's being copied. So a lot of other sports are doing this, including the San Diego Padres are now launching. So June 10th, they're starting remote work Wednesdays. So when the Padres play a home game on a
Nice.
Wednesday, they're going to have a section dedicated. It's a similar premise, like a section. The difference I would say between that is like a baseball game is very loud, even if there's
Yeah.
not a lot of fans there. There's a lot of announcements. There's
The
walk-up music.
Jumbotron
There's
is
walk-up
fucking annoying.
music. There's stuff like the, cricket is these aren't, we're not talking about a one-day game or a T20 game. This is a 4-day championship game. So it's pretty quiet atmosphere for the most part. I can see how you could just be typing away or doing some work and then kind of treat it as if I have the game on in the background.
Yeah.
A baseball game, I think you are at a baseball game.
I mean, I think the main risk you're running with the cricket, this is just me, but maybe it's not just me, but the temperature and the weather would be a really major factor here. Because, like, it has to be the right weather where you're okay sitting outside to do work for 8 hours where, it's
Oh
not
no,
too hot.
I don't think you're outside.
Oh, you're not outside.
No, I think it's in a section. I mean, I think there's outside space, but I think you are covered. They're not asking you to run the
Co
risk of like
But you
yeah.
mean like covered or like in like a box? You're saying like in like
I think
a
there is part of it that you can sit behind glass. Like you can, because again, they're trying to facilitate the idea that you can make calls and you can do stuff. So I do think there's part of
okay,
it
that's
where
better.
like you're not exposed to the elements completely if you don't want to
Okay.
be. But it's true that the risk you run is that you go to the stadium and then it's just rained off. So now you're just
Yeah.
sitting at the Oval watching nothing for no
Drinking.
reason.
Either I just think the drinking element in cricket just does not lend itself well for an 8-hour workday.
Well, not everyone does that. Do you know the place that should,
Ah!
you know the sport that should do this 100%? Horse racing. Horse racing, like a racetrack should have, because the advantage you have of
Most
that
of the people going to the track don't have jobs.
no, but imagine, like if they again you had a space inside, you can set your laptop up and do that. You have the advantage that it's only every 30-ish minutes. So
Yeah.
you can actually kind of time your calls around when the race is, like,
I
oh, we got
love
to
that
end this.
idea.
We got to end this meeting. Like it's about to jump. The one risk you have is that like a bad day, and at the end you're like betting your work laptop after 6 losers in a row.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's all I have sports wise. I think non-sports wise, I know you haven't had the chance to fully catch up on TV, so I won't discuss anything to do with the latest episode of Widow's Bay. I did finish season 1 of Rooster. It's good.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say watch it. It's it'd be a good plain
Show.
binge show. Like you could
Okay.
because you can definitely watch 2 or 3 episodes back to back. So it's not a bad show to like get through 90 minutes on a flight.
I was thinking about this because I mean, this is kind of a long way off, but I had just finalized everything for this trip. I will be going to Tokyo in October, which is like a 12-hour flight. And I thought, is there a 12 hours of television that's bingeable enough? And I instantly thought, like, Lost is a show that you could definitely watch like an entire season of Lost straight. And then I said, oh, Eddie has said that From is quite like Lost.
Oh, yes.
So I might save it until October, download the entire first season somehow on like a laptop or something, and might just binge watch this entire first season.
It's not 12 hours. You need season 1, season 2.
Oh, they're short. It's only like 6 episodes, 10
Mm,
episodes. See, that's what was nice about Lost. Lost was a shit ton of episodes,
season 1 was 10 episodes.
and they're like 45 minutes.
Probably, yeah, 50-ish minutes. So you need
Okay.
season 1, season 2 on your laptop to
okay.
be.
Maybe I do
I mean,
season 1 there, season 2 back.
Well, I mean, by then you download all 4 seasons, which will have been released by then, fully released, and then you have all 4 seasons ready to go. That's 40 episodes.
I mean, the other issue is I kind of want to sleep a little on a 12-hour flight.
You're the one coming up with this idea. I didn't suggest that you binge a show for 12 hours.
I'll have to think about it a little bit.
I was just saying, why would you just if you did really enjoy it, why would you be like, "Oh shit, I don't have season 3 now."
Yeah, that's true.
But From's ticking along nicely. It's been announced season 5 is the end. So they're trying to, I think, avoid the Lost situation of dragging on too long. And
Lost only went 6 seasons.
but if I'm being honest, I think season 4, maybe this should have been the last season. This should have been the wrap everything up, and it probably got a bit too popular, and they decided to drag a few storylines out longer than they needed to be. But it's still good. As I said, not amazing television. It's not The Wire, but it's good. Sort of mindless. Throw it on the TV and get yourself ready for your brain to switch off. Anything else?
No, that's about it. So with that, we'll call it a day.
Sounds good.
All right, talk to you later.
See ya.
Cheerio.